What is up, everybody? Welcome back, and today we are going to be talking about colons. No, not that kind of colon, the colon that will appear on your SAT English test on the grammar portion. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so once again, with colons, just like with semicolons, there are two main rules. The first rule is adding explanation or extra information. So a colon must come after a full sentence, and it can be used to introduce more detail or an explanation. For example, she had one dream: to attend Harvard. The part after the colon here explains the dream, so it's additional information. An incorrect example would be such as colon to attend Harvard, because there's no full sentence before the colon, so it's unclear what's going on. The next rule when it comes to colons is introducing a list. So here we see bring the essentials: pencils, calculator, and ID. An incorrect example of this would be I have pencils, calculator, and ID. And even though this would sound right, there's two problems to this. Number one, it's not a complete sentence. And number two, it already introduces the list. So if you don't have a colon there, you can just say I have pencils, calculator, and ID. And that would be completely fine. So there's no use of adding a colon. All right, there's one important warning that you need to remember. Colons are only used after independent clauses. So a colon has to come after a complete sentence. And on any SAT question, if there's no complete sentence and the answer choice has a colon, you can eliminate that right away because it's impossible for a colon to come after a dependent clause or an incomplete sentence. So correct example would be she made one thing clear: she would never give up. But this would not be correct. Because she was tired, she went to bed early. Although it includes additional information, it's not a complete sentence, which is why it's incorrect. So make sure you remember that. Alright, let's try a practice question now. As always, I'll let you guys try it, pause the video, and yeah. So I assume you tried out the practice question, and now I'm going to go over it. So, in a 2016 study, Eastern Washington University psychologist Amani El Alyali found that, among other study participants who experienced frisson, a psychological response akin to goosebumps or getting the chills while listening to music, there was one personality trait that they scored particularly blank: openness to experience. So we can tell here that the words that we need to say are high on. And we also know that openness to experience is additional information. Okay? So since we know that a colon could be one of the answers. But let's go over why everything else cannot be an answer. A cannot be an answer because if we say there was one personality trait that they scored particularly high, and then on openness to experience would be a dependent clause. So that's impossible. Answer choice B would be incorrect because according to semicolon rules, a semicolon only connects two independent clauses, and these two are not independent clauses since openness to experience is a dependent clause. Answer choice C would also be incorrect because that would create a run-on sentence since the entire thing is one sentence. So while listening to music, there was one personality trait that they scored particularly high on openness to experience. That already doesn't sound right. And you're right that it doesn't sound right because it's not right. But answer choice D has a pause and it follows an independent clause as well. So this whole thing is a complete sentence, and then we have our colon, which is why we know that it has to be a colon because there's a complete sentence. So we know that a colon is grammatically correct in this situation, and we see the additional information, which is why it has to be answer choice D. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. At 100 subscribers, I will be dropping an ultimate SAT grammar guide that will help you ace every single question related to grammar on the SAT. So stay tuned for that. Alright, bye-bye.